this morning. We'll continue reading from the Nectarean ocean of the holy name. And on the offences, the first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of the demigods like Shiva or Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic worship. So we have been studying or reading on the fourth offense, which is Shruti Shastra Nindanam. We have to depend on the Vedas, the scriptures, because we have four defects. That is the propensity to commit errors. And the second one is to be subjected to illusion. Likewise, we have another two, which is a propensity to cheat oneself or others. And the fourth one is imperfect senses or imperfect mind. Therefore, the only way that we can understand the truth is through the Vedas. And the Vedas speaks about the chanting as the means by which we can attain Krishna Bhakti. Therefore, if we are blaspheming the Vedas, that means we are blaspheming the holy name. The question continues, how should the Vedic conclusion be applied? The sum total of all Vedic conclusions results in pure devotional service by which the living entity attains pure love of God. Whenever the principal teachings of the Vedas can be applied, it would be wrong to use secondary teachings instead. From the beginning to the end of the Vedas emphasizes the importance of the syllable Om and of the holy name. By chanting the holy name, the living entity attains the supreme spiritual realm. Because the pure devotees always seek the shelter of the holy name, the complete Vedic knowledge is revealed to them and they attain pure love of Krishna step by step. In the last session, how can the fourth offense be rectified if you have committed mistakes, offense to the scriptures? How do we rectify? If one blasphemes the Vedic scriptures by mistake, one should openly repent and offer obeisances to the scriptures. With great respect, one should offer flowers and tulasi leaves to the Srimad Bhagavatam and the other Vedic literature, because the Srimad Bhagavatam contains the essence of the Vedas. It is an incarnation of Krishna and will bestow unlimited mercy upon the sincerely repentant offender. One should develop full faith that his life is his life his life will be successful if he follows the scriptures that describe the glories of Sri Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This advice is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. The Bhagavad Gita also stresses the importance of following the scriptures. And this is from Bhagavad Gita. He who discards scriptural injunctions and act accordingly to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Last paragraph. In conclusion, we should follow the scriptures which describe the glory of the Supreme Personality of God. At the same time, the Srimad Bhagavatam reminds us to avoid blaspheming other religious scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, or the Talmud, by giving a nice example. Just as the honeybee takes nectar from all flowers, big and small, an intelligent human being should take the essence from all religious scriptures. That ends the fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic literature. And next is going to be Arthavada, that is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. We'll stop here and open up for any discussions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
No, no question. My question is, see, everything, most of the things mentioned in Vedas and whatever is said in Vedas, maybe people, means, suppose in Bhagavad Gita, as it is, Prabhupada mentioned that we need to go for authoritative translations, right? Prabhu? Means some people may understand indifferently, and everything mentioned in the Vedas itself, like tantric or so many. So how do we take and how do we think that this is only authoritative translation, bro?
So Vedas, when we speak about Vedas, specifically what has been mentioned here is the Uttarabhaga. The Vedas are of two parts, as we all know, Purvabhaga and Uttarabhaga. Purvabhaga, which speaks about the Karma Kanda section of what are the how to perform worship, um, the procedures and process and the mantras and so forth. Purvabhaga. And the second part speaks about whom to be that worship performed. Who's an object of worship? So that is the second part, which is called Upanishad. So the Upanishad is a focus of understanding the absolute truth. All the school of thoughts speaks the same, that there is one absolute truth. Therefore, there's no confusion in that one. Whichever schools of thought we go, they all agree that there's only one absolute truth. There cannot be a second. But the question comes about who is it absolute truth? That's where the difference comes. The differences comes whether that is this God or that God is where the difference of opinion comes. Right? So everyone is basing their argument or their principles on the Brahma Sutram. Brahma Sutram is the Vedanta Sutra, which is commentary on the Upanishad written by Veda Vyasa. Therefore, you'll see some difference of philosophy. The philosophies may vary, but the religion, based on the religion which you follow, one can adopt a particular philosophy and apply the philosophy on a particular matam or a religion. Right? Therefore, there's going to be a difference definitely because we have many great souls in the land of India. They are all great and they see certain things differently. We appreciate all the differences, but then somewhere or the other, we have to settle down on one of the school of thought. We cannot go outside of this one. Therefore, we analyze and study different schools of thought as if time permits and adapt a particular school of thought. And the advantage that here is the unspoken truth. The unspoken truth is one may say, why can't we just be one translation? Why can't be there be one matam? Why can't be there be one siddhanta, philosophy, one religion, one thing, right? Uh, it is nice to have because the other religion are pretty much following that particular process of there's only one for everything. There's no multiple gods and things like that, right? The only reason India is still surviving, the Sanatana Dharma is still surviving, is because of this variation within the Sanatana Dharma. The foreign, the many people try to break the Indian faith in Sanatana Dharma. The only reason they cannot able to break it because there are different religion within the tree, within the umbrella of Sanatana Dharma. It's so very hard to break. So that's an advantage in one sense to have many schools of thought, many religion within the Sanatana Dharma. So we just, to answer short, we just go with one school of thought that that pleases our mind or our practices.
Yeah, Prabhu. Means suppose if one comes like normally in the discussions, if some people comes with a different philosophy of thought, there is no proof that whatever we are saying, it is up to us to go whatever the school of thought we believe. That's it. That's what we need to understand, Prabhu.
No, there's a simple point. All the acharyas, they are not coming out with their own ideas here, right? Whether it's Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whoever they are. We discussed this in a very initial part of our course and flavors of Vaishnavism also. They're all great souls. Right? So there's no need or there's no point of getting into the debates and discussions on our level. They had their discussion, they had their debate, they established certain principles, right? So the point here is that no one is coming out whimsically just by that. They're all basing their principle or philosophy exactly from the Vedas. Only thing is each one sees differently. So there's no point in arguing with one another from our level. If someone doesn't have any idea, someone is already following a certain path in the Vedic school of thought, as long as they understand what they're following, that's good. That's just fine. But then they're just following because it's just been emotional attachment. They are just doing because of the family pressure or because they've been doing for years. Then that is sentimental. Then there's a chance for have a discussion, healthy discussion, and make them understand. Therefore, the point here is we have to deal carefully on dealing with others talking about this different schools of thought. Is that help or
Yeah,
no?
sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, and Dr. Prabhu, from the book you read last sentence, I didn't understand. Can you please read that last sentence you said? What is that about?
Okay. Uh, the last sentence in the conclusion, is that the part?
Yeah.
In conclusion, we should follow the scriptures which describe the glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the same time, the Srimad Bhagavatam reminds us to avoid blaspheming other religious scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, or the Talmud, by giving a nice example. Example is Bhagavatam is giving this example. Just as the honeybee takes nectar from all the flowers, big and small, an intelligent human being should take the essence from all religious scriptures. So the point here, what Maharaj is saying here is, whatever the religion, different religion may be, and you may be a different religion, but there's no one should try to cultivate this mood of trying to take good things from anything. That's the point.
Thank you.
Not that we have to follow that religion. If there's something is talking, they are talking something good thing, then we can just always adapt those things. But the truth is that there is the details of what is good thing you cannot find more than what has been provided in Sanatana Dharma. That's a fact. Any other any other religion or any other practices, they are all bits and pieces which is already be spoken in Sanatana Dharma. That's the truth. We appreciate other religion only because maybe we are not well versed with our own religion. That could be the reason. Okay, Rachna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Prabhuji, thank you so much for the explanation about diversity in Sanatana Dharma, and that's the reason for being survival of Sanatana Dharma till date. I have one question related to Prabhuji's question, and previously also had the same question in my mind. Like Lord Krishna controls everything. He's the maintainer of everything. But why he did this thing that our Vedas, like we are so much we think that the Vedas are so much foreign to us, and the present generation do not believe, and we are so much ignorant that we are not aware of the richness of the Vedic culture and Vedic philosophy. So why Krishna made this arrangement that we are like we have not been taught like when we were in childhood about these things, and as of now we are learning like what is the importance of the Vedic culture. So this is very, I feel this is very sad, and like all the other thing, like we have been so much into Western culture. We know about the present generation know about the Western things, but we as a are unaware of our roots. Like why this Krishna made this arrangement?
Yeah, as usually the nice question. As usually they say, Krishna personally did not make an arrangement in the way that things are going out right now. It is all we are the cause of what the situation is right now. Um, as example is given, when we all came into this country, we learned voluntarily or forcefully the system of this country, right? But the system also, the country has a certain system. If you want to be in United States of America, then this is what you need to follow. Well, I coming from India, therefore I will only drive on the other side, right hand side, not left hand side. It's not going to be applicable here. Therefore, we were well versed that if we move to a different country, we have to follow the rules of that country. We cannot come up with our own ideas. Likewise, it's a parent's duty. The parental thing is very important in this part. First of all, a parent should be well versed of what our dharma is, what our tradition and culture is, the richness and the wealth that we can get from the scriptures, Vedas, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. So the parent should be full aware of these things. For this parent to know, their parent should be well versed. For their parents to know, their parents should have been well versed. Unfortunately, what happened is over the period of the time, the focus is only towards on the material side, less on the spiritual aspect from the parenting side. Right? That's where things have fell apart. Therefore, now that at least we know, let's make sure as a parent we give more importance and make our children understand what we have. The wealth is within ourselves. We don't need to go anywhere else. I know some of our friends or contacts that we had. They all come to the temple, but their children have converted into Christianity and different religion. Why? They're not getting the answer. The children were not satisfied what has been offered within the Hindu tradition. They feel it's all bogus or it's just sentimental. There is no all this because the parent doesn't know. So its parents plays a very important role in this whole thing topic. So let's give importance and teach our children about the Vedas as their age permits. Slowly, make them understand. And each and every parent does this one, then we can be successful in parenting. Also, as a globally overall as a to protect the Sanatana Dharma. So it's all depends on in our hands how we want to take it. And then once we make understand our children, our family follows the dharma, Sanatana Dharma, then we should be able to also help others at the same time.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank
So there's
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, if we have the time, I'll ask the question, Prabhu. Otherwise,
yeah, if it is not urgent,